A couple of weeks ago, I went out to eat with a bunch of people, and it was just a big group of us. We were just there to enjoy it. We all sat down, we ordered food, stuff like that, and someone in our group realized that they got their order wrong. So I just expected them to be like, oh, hey, like you messed up my order, like could I just get another thing? But this person was so rude to the person saying like, this is not what I ordered. The person was ordering a cheeseburger and they wanted a bunch of ketchup. They literally said, could I get a cheeseburger with extra ketchup? They were like, okay, yeah, that's fine. The person got their food and they look at it and it's filled with ketchup and they're thinking, what the heck? Why is there so much ketchup? And I was thinking in the back of my mind, I'm like, didn't this person ask for extra ketchup? So the person's talking to me, they're like, bro, look, this is literally filled with ketchup. How am I supposed to eat this? And I was just thinking, I was like, didn't they ask for extra ketchup? Why are you complaining if that's what you asked for? And if you really care that much, just go and tell them, like, could I, get a different one? Like, I think this is too much ketchup. But they refused to eat it and they refused to pay for it. And that really taught me something. It showed me that you could literally be out to eat with a bunch of friends and a big group and have a good time and still be negative. That person was literally out to eat at a nice restaurant, getting a nice burger, and they complained about the littlest things that could be fixed. But they allowed that to affect them. With me, I really try to be the most positive person in the room. There are times where I'm negative. Like specifically, we lost a volleyball game a couple of weeks ago and I felt like we should have won the game. We were better than the other team, I thought. And we lost because of issues that we had. And I was mad that me and other people on my team had those issues. And I was just in a bad mood. My sister was playing with me and she was telling me, like, it's fine. Like, it happens. We should have been better, but it happens. And she was, cheering me up. And it allowed me to realize that even in the darkest situation, even if something goes wrong, don't look at the negatives. There's this story that I read a long time ago and it really sat with me. I want to tell you about it. So there was this guy and he had a son, right? And they were on the farm and one day his son was just riding in the horse, stuff like that. And his son let out a bunch of the horses. The horses were all gone. His dad came home and he was like, wow, all of the horses are gone. All of the neighbors came over and said, oh, I'm so sorry that you lost all your horses. I'm so sorry. And the dad was like, it's okay. Like, he didn't care. The next day, when they went out to look for the horses, they ended up finding the horses and they found more horses that were bigger. So they took those horses in. And now back at their house, they had a ton of cool horses. And all the neighbors came over and said, yo, that is awesome. Like, congratulations on getting all of those horses. That is insane. Like, how do you feel? And the guy was like, it's cool. Yeah. He was really mellow. He was really mellow about it. He didn't really care. The next day comes around and everybody's still like, wow, he's got all those cool horses, man. That is sick. And the dad's just still like straight face. His son wants to go ride the new horses and stuff. And his dad's like, yeah, that's fine. His son goes out and rides one of the new horses, but he ends up falling off the horse, breaking his leg because of that new horse. And all the neighbors came over and they were saying, oh, I'm so sorry that he broke his leg. Like, your son is so hurt. Like, what are you going to do? How do you feel? And the dad was like, it's all right. We'll figure it out. And he kept that straight face. The next day, everybody's saying, bro, like, his leg is hurt. Like, I feel so bad for you. But then the army came. The army was coming to every single person in that neighborhood's door and telling them, yo, come. You have to come with us. They were forcing them to join the army. When they got to the guy's house, they were going to take his son, but then they realized his leg was broken, so he didn't have to go to war. All the people in the houses were like, oh, wow, your son doesn't have to go to the war. That's so awesome. That's so awesome. And the dad was just like, he was just straight-faced. No matter what, even whenever all of his horses escaped, he didn't panic because he knew there could be a positive ending or a negative ending. It ended up being a positive ending. Everybody was so sad saying, oh, all your horses are gone. But then the next day, he got all new horses. And then everybody was like, oh my God, you got all these cool horses. And then the next day, his son broke his leg riding his horse. And everyone's like, oh, your son broke his leg. Like, that sucks. But the dad didn't react negatively. All of these negative situations happened in that story. But the dad didn't let it affect him because he knew that something positive could come out of the negative thing that happened. And ever since I've heard that, I have lived by that. If something negative happens to you, something positive is probably going to come from that, and you have to focus on it. A lot of people focus on the negatives. Just like going back to my friend. He was literally out to eat with a bunch of people. He got a nice burger. He asked for extra ketchup, and they gave him too much ketchup, so he cried about it. Why are you focusing on the negative? Focus on the positive, the fact that you are able to go out with your friends, buy you a cheeseburger. I'm not trying to be funny, but this is kind of rude, but like, this is a weird situation. Let's say one of your family members died. That's a negative situation. I'm not laughing about it. If you try to find a positive, hey, at least they're leaving you money when they die. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you can sit there and cry and cry and cry and cry about somebody dying. They're not gonna come back, man. But look at the positives. They left you money, or they left you with all these good memories of them. You know what I mean? There's always a positive coming from a negative situation, and there's always a negative coming from a positive situation. It just depends on what you let affect you. If you let the positives into your mind and block those negatives, you are going to feel awesome. Next time something bad happens to you in your life, try to think, okay, what positive can come from this? Once I learned that, my life was just amazing. All right, peace out, y'all.